Hello and welcome back to the Chiropterra Commonwealth. I decided to go forward a few days until we either hit another event or I could go down my focus tree more, and I hit another event, the Military Assistance League. Lady Commander Leaf and Lord Commander Eclipse, Ember Crescent said, walking across the deck of the destroyer sitting in New Academy, as he addressed the two members of the Legionary Council that he had asked to stay behind following the brief meeting with the Council at the Commonwealth shipyards. Did I ever tell you about the time I beached a cruiser to save a platoon led by one Lord Commander Palisade? I remember my grandfather telling me the story of the liability investigation afterwards, Lucent Eclipse admitted with a small grin, the thrustrel chuckling, lightly obvious or uncaring to the clear tension in the formal admiral's words. I also remember that it was only the hoof's manipulation of the public that kept them from dwelling on the fact that beaching a moving warship is essentially crashing it. You could kill 10 sailors and injured 32. Auburn Leaf noted dryly. You tried to do a good thing without thinking ahead. You two really are your family's children, Ember rumbled out slowly. Stone Palisade is a friend who was more than willing to point a hoof at those who funneled bits into various legionary brotherhoods who have now begun to become active political parties. The Military Assistance League, right? From what we can tell, they're just well-meaning reformers as well, who just would prefer to see our nation led into the future with the council still at the helm, Lucent explained with a small nod. The moment those organizations became political, the funding stopped. We have the paperwork to prove that as well, Auburn added, looking to Lucent with a somewhat smug expression. You know how that Eclipse family is with keeping a good paper trail, and how good the Reed family is about ensuring secrets are kept. You utter brats. This is the future of our nation, not a political game, Ember boomed out, waving his hoof in the air. This is about the future of our nation, which is why the Military Assistance League is a legal political party, which is why they are conducting themselves peacefully, and with the honor according to the rules the Nightmare set, Lucent explained in a calm voice. The Council will not have a direct hoof in what they say, but they will support what the Council says, more than likely, Auburn finalized, shooting a look at Ember that dared him to challenge her. The Council will have a voice in the reforms being made, Ember Crescent. The Council will not cede power so easily. I see. How interesting. That will have to be dealt with in the future, I suppose. But I'll see you in a bit, unless it's the next day. And we're back! And we can, boom, the death of tradition. The operation was a delicate one. Failure would have meant allowing the Anzurdi to fade away into the Zeraterian desert, spending countless months chasing down the small band of warriors to little effect, effectively sending priceless intelligence work down the drain for good. Only the elite could be trusted with that task, and as such, the Legionary Council sit out their deadliest dagger. The Imazib tribes probably realized something was wrong when they heard the whistles of aircrafts above as they unleashed a deadly payload on their camp in the middle of the night. Such inkling became a frightful certainty as SAS elements popped into existence all around them, seemingly crawling out of the sand itself. The Zerateans were fierce warriors in their own right, but those under Captain Sterling Silver's guidance had superb training, excellent night vision, and a general lack of self-preservational instinct on their side. Having cut their teeth in a series of bold and risky operations in the last war, they were the kind of colts and fillies that would find charging into a saturation bombardment as an honest, boring proposal. Chasers and armored vehicle headlights illuminated the night for hours. Surrounded by his most fanatical warriors and clansmen, Izem stood his ground and fought to the bitter end, directing the resistance from his command tent in his camp center, that is, until a young mare from Bravo Company tossed a couple of white Prosperous grenades in there. His charred remains would only be identified much later. Remove native resistance. Should have embraced the new world. The Military Oversight Committee Under the previous regime, the military was free to do whatever they deemed was necessary to support the war effort. This at times involved the indefinite acquisition of private property and the curbing of individual rights. A committee will be established to ensure the military does not go beyond the scope of its power when carrying out its activities. The end of the Bush War. Resistance activities are in sharp decline across the Commonwealth, with the biggest resistant groups dealt with. It seems the locals have finally come to accept our rule as inevitable, and a few have even started to view us with some sympathy, at least when compared to their previous rulers. Conversions are constantly growing over the last months. Even now there are talks amongst the High Command about downsizing our detachments assigned to anti-insurgency operation and let the Loyalist militia deal with the mopping up. For all intents and purposes, the Bush War is over, and the Commonwealth has adjourned to 1,000 years more. At long last, we have won the North Zebrican Bush War. Yay! Now we just need to be able to get them as cores again. Which hopefully will be soon now. Whew! At times change, a new legislative body will be required to shape the direction of Chiropterra, an organ separated by the Legionary Council of old. Let's see, recent changes in the political landscape, a brief life to various organizations fighting to advance the rights of natives within the Chiroptera system. In order to achieve further integration with the native populations, we have visibly relaxed our conversion efforts and encouraged numerous forms of religious syncretisms. Some might be branded as heresy, but the results cannot be denied. Reform the hoof. The hoof has had various assignments to perform in our nation's history, such as torturers, inquisitors, and informants, to name a few of the unsavory jobs. In light of political changes, however, the hoof is in dire need of reform. It will be changed into an intelligence agency that will inspire trust and cooperation in our people, not fear and submissions, as in the past. Woo. You got quality of life improvement through the plans have been laid out to bring the native standards of living up to your citizens, or close enough anyways. Alright. How are the focus trees of the, or not focus trees, how are the factions looking? Oh, hey! The communists went to war with the East Griffonian Treaty Organization. Not the East Griffonian... Oh, and the Hilltop League, the Hillfolk League also won that war. I was expecting that. But the Griffonian People's League Front is probably going to win this pretty easily. Just because it's 1v... Well, technically it's only 1v2 if you're counting, like, you know, just them and their puppets, those two... And just them, you know, them and their puppets and just them. But you know, yeah, there's a lot of nations here that are fighting. Actually, Nimbusa's also joined them, so that's nice for them, I suppose. I don't know why they did, but maybe they were guaranteeing them, like, we don't like you, but we're willing to work with you if it means defeating the Common. I could see that. That sounds like them. An end to the hierarchy. To create a truly egalitarian society, the practice of promoting and hiring individuals based on their social standings and political loyalty must be ended. From this point forward, all creatures will be judged based on merit and their achievements, and will have equal opportunities to compete for power. This will ensure that those who are in positions of power have earned it. We are gonna create the Lux Invicta. We also have 40 nukes. Just kind of, you know, felt like I should mention that. Why, I don't know. Just felt like the right thing to do. No. Revolutionary, a seducer. Yeah, I'll grab you up. Lux Invicta. I'm impressed, Governor General Stick. Nightmare Moon said as she trotted around his office at a careful, meandering pace. Her eyes eventually settled on the painting of the legionaries behind his desk. I am rarely impressed. Every report from my Moonspeaker sings your praises. Your reforms are more liberal than we expected, but the pony's devotion to your empress is still so clear. Thank you, Your Majesty. It was my honor to serve you and my country, Carrot Stick said, bowing his head to the Empress for at least the 100th time since she had arrived unexpectedly in the afternoon, a surprise royal inspection to see how reforms were implemented. We remember you, you know, the Empress explained, staring up at the painting still in thought. I am loath to admit, we didn't quite realize it until I reviewed your record in the hoof. Your cover was as a bureaucrat in Canterlot, a middling bean counter in the palace itself, directly under our dear sister's nose for years. We crossed paths once or twice when I was weaker, Pony. Do you remember? I do, Your Majesty, Carrot admitted, nodding his head as the Emperor's turned to look at him. Weaker, no. Shorter, yes. I will permit that one joke. What did you think of it all? Canterlot, that is, Nightmare Moon asked, keeping her voice neutral as she arched her brow curiously at the former spy. Everything was hollow. Whatever magic had built the city stagnated and left a long time ago. The skeleton was still there, but every pony living there was wearing a mask and pretending it was alive, Carrot noted dryly, his tone relaxing as he joined the Empress to look up at the painting. Even if moonshine failed, if Equestria overcame our efforts, and if we were lost for another millennia, Your Majesty, that corpse we both knew would have collapsed under its own weight. What will make the Commonwealth any different in 1,000 years? The Nightmare asked, looking down at Carrot with a genuine curiosity. The Lux Invicta, the invisible light, Your Majesty, Carrot said, nodding up to the painting of the Legionnaires first landing on Chiropterra's shores. The hope your rebellion inspired lasted for 1,000 years. The hope your victory has brought will endure for 10,000 years to come. Thank you, Governor General Stick. Destroy the records of your deployment at the hoof and speak nothing of this conversation, the Nightmare said, lowering her hoarse voice to a near whisper. It was good to see a familiar face again. It is rare that I feel I am in any pony's debt. We look forward to working with you into the Lux Invicta. Carrot Stick has managed to secure the Commonwealth, and as such we have once again unlocked our core decisions, remove integration woes, and get a whole bunch of places as core. Woo! We finally did it! Oh yeah, boy! So is that it? Did I wait like a year just to do those few focuses? I mean, that was really fun, and I'm glad I got to see. I love how they actually had the princess like show up for it. Also, I'm glad to have finally got to core those last couple provinces. Can I core you, or just am I not even supposed to have that? Just the fact that I can't core you, I don't think I'm supposed to have you. But you know, sometimes you just have random provinces for no reason, just like Luna having Skyfall because I felt like it. But yeah, I suppose that's where this series will have to end. This might just be my favorite playthrough yet. The only one that might come close is the original one with it over here in Hippogriphia, just because these have been like the two biggest focus trees. Now, I found the other ones also really fun and just like really good adventures, but these just have been the biggest focus trees with the most events, the most details, just so much. I think they have done so well with the Zeratina focus trees. All of them have been so much fun, so well done. Like, beat out a lot of the like lore-wise, beat out most, if not all, of the ones they've done before. At least like lore and story-wise. And but this might just have to be my favorite. But yeah, I guess that'll end it. If you enjoyed this series, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And let the 10,000 years of peace in the Chiroptera Commonwealth begin. As always, peace.